Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? I think we are doing rather well indeed. I am doing just wonderfully too. I'm so glad to be here. So glad to be back. It's been a while. It has been a while. I can tell you that much for free. Other than that, we should be getting going anytime soon. It's just taking its sweet, sweet time at the moment. Nevertheless, we should be going in. We are going in just now. Right, so let's have a little talk about where we are today. You also notice that I'm rambling and I'm not introducing a co-host. That's because he's coming in halfway through commentary. Mr. J Horse is a little bit behind, but that's absolutely fine. So we are here at Portugal, but importantly, you should note that we had a race last time round that I wasn't here to see. I don't think. Let's have a little look at how that race panned out because I think it panned out pretty decently. Race results came in looking something like this, with Lifebout taking a nice win at Imola, with Pink Eye in P2, our Henson P3, and Mr. Cookie P4. With that, the drivers, with Rick not having the best of races, hasn't changed the top of the standings. Rick still remains firmly on top, but Lifebout second, R. Henson third, and Mr. Cookie down in fourth. He's really not doing all that well at the moment, let's be honest here. And with constructors on top of that, it is AlphaTauri that are currently taking the very dominant lead indeed. 296 points to 231 of the McLaren and 214 of the Williams. Red Bull really not looking very good. 90 points on the table, though Red Bull have never been a strong side in BRL, and neither is today's numbers. These are poor, gentlemen. Poor. We've got 13 drivers on the grid today. I'm not going to try and tell you which ones are here, which ones aren't, because there are too many not here for me to have any clue about. Nevertheless, no Ferraris. Very limited colour. Very, very blue across the board. I've just been told off for not putting it in commentator stream. I'm awful at this kind of stuff. Like I just hit go. I just hit go and go. That's all I ever need to do, you know? Fine. YouTube. Right, so whilst we're having a little look at that, shall we see what's going on? So McLaren is first out by the looks of it. I'm pretty sure Mr. Rick, no he's not, there's a Red Bull in front of him. Lap data on. It is the Red Bull of Tommy actually out in front. So he'll be the first man to set a lap time. And let's talk a little bit about the track. Algrave. It's a nice little track, actually. I don't mind Algrave. It's moderately long. I'm just trying to find it on my things. Here we go. What does it look like? I forget. Let's cut to it. This is Algrave Circuit. 2.89 miles long, 15 turns with 2 DRS zones as per usual for most of these tracks, and some really good overtaking opportunities. But there is one thing that drivers have been worried about, shall I say, and that is living in the constant fear of spinning. This track has a bit of knack for that, to be honest, especially from what I've been hearing about. Some people are slightly worried. Let's see how Mr. Tommy can do it. Oh, no, that's gone to the wrong... Oh, it's all going wrong, ladies and gentlemen. It's all going abhorrently wrong. But then again, when does it ever go right? Oh, you're going to be able to hear me, aren't you? Right. Sorry for this very, very short overlay of sound. Shouldn't have been too bad. Just need to grab the link. Oh, by the looks... Oh, been there for the... There'll be rain for the start. I don't know. It seems like a very interesting place to have rain, to be honest. Wet race, though. A wet race around Portimao is something I wasn't expecting. But we love to see it. Sorry, can't be there. Not getting home till 2 a.m. Oh, Sim guy, when do you ever show? Like, at this point, don't even apologize. We just expect it. Right, okay. Our times are beginning to come in. It's a 17:09 for Rick, who goes and sets the fastest lap. Just 7/10 faster than Tommy's time. There is a Haas about to come around the final curve. That's SX Perry to set his time into the pits. He dives, though, so maybe not the lap for him. Simon Barstfan also coming across the line, but that is an invalidated lap. Next up, it is Mr. Cookie, who is also invalidated. I think we're going to be seeing quite a lot of this. Bluebird invalidated, so along with Jimmy Jags. Mercedes up next. That's not Smithy. That's I'm a Wild Matt, who's on an outlap. And it's the 2 AlphaTauris. Let's see how these guys are getting on. Hazard at the moment is on a lap with Lifebout just behind him, getting very, very close indeed. This could actually be a little bit worrying. Especially for Lifebout's lap, he's going to be losing a lot of time, especially through these last couple of corners, which really involve being able to get your foot down nice and early. That one especially. This should, in theory, be flat through qualifying, and yes, it is going to be for the AlphaTauri, and he's going to come across the line to set a time just below, but Lifebout comes in significantly faster, just under a quarter of a second faster than Rick there, as our Henson goes and posts a lap with the McLaren. Rick just coming across now. He'll be heading into the pit lane. I really wish I could race. Yeah, Sim guy, bro, there's 13 people here. We need you in the cockpit. What's going on? There's no colour on the track either. Get you in a Ferrari, get you in an Alfa Romeo, make us all a bit happier. Right, our Henson comfortably in second place at the moment after just going and setting that lap. I think next across is Bluebird. Yes, it is, who goes and sets the fastest sector 2 times. So we could be in for a new pole sitter for now, but he's coming through sector 3. He's getting through pretty cleanly as of right this second. Round the final corner, it's just about getting that speed down nice and early, and I do think he's got it pretty decently. And around the final corner, that Alpine looking identical to the 2023 car, and across the line he comes, and it's only P4, 3.5 tenths down on Lifebout's time to the dot, but he's comfortably in front of Simon Barstfan as of right now. So he's he's looking comfortable at the moment. Whilst obviously it's not the perfect position, he hasn't got to worry too much about losing out to the back. Nevertheless, we've had 7 of the 13 drivers to set a lap, so just over half. Means there are still plenty of people to try and beat those times. We've got a Mr. Cookie just coming around for an outlap right now. With who is that coming around the final corner? Simon Barstfan going rather slowly indeed. That is Bluebird coming out now. He's on a slow. We got a Mercedes out on track. I'm pretty sure that I'm a Wild Matt, who's just going to set fastest purple sector 1. Moved house last week. Work is crazy busy. Hence getting home at 2 a.m. Bro, I gotta respect the grind. Dollars before. Hey, if we got some sponsors, and whoever won the championship got some money, then you wouldn't have to go to work to 2 a.m. because you could just win BRL. So that's him, guy, if you know what I'm saying. Nevertheless, our Wild Matt looks on for a really strong time here. He's gone and set purple sectors 1 and purple sectors 2. Let's see whether he can hit a purple sector 3. He's coming around the final corner now for one of my favourite camera angles, actually, coming over that hill. Opens up DRS at the line, and it's across the line. It's only P5, 4 tenths down. So whether that's a really dodgy sector 1 or it's just some really dodgy analytical data, either way, it's not a time that he possibly was hoping for. Only a couple more drivers to come round now, and I think Mr. Cookie, and on an invalidated lap, unfortunate for him, so he'll have to come in, get a new fresher tyres on, and get himself back out once again. Bar this, it's not looking too shabby at the moment. Other drivers about to coming round as of right now include Jimmy Jags, who I think is on a fast lap by the looks of it. He does look to be pushing pretty hard there, nailing that apex and heading back up the hill. Yes, I think he's has to be, you know. Lifebout's on an out lap. Hazard, I think, might be on a fast as well. Oh no, he's. Oh, he could be. No, I think he's just setting up for a fast lap. Yeah, I think he's just about to go with that high DRS. Nevertheless, Jimmy Jags, who I do think is on a fast lap, he is about to come across the line. Yes, he is. He's going all the way. And it's going to be P10 for him, a 19.3. It's not an optimal starting time for him, but he's at least got, you know, he's cutting down on his time. He'll be more than happy with that as a nice little banker time. And then you just got to really nail it in the coffin and gets going once more. So SX Perry rounding the last couple of corners. I think he's on a fast. This is his second lap as of right now, so it would make sense considering the fact that he hasn't been out. And dives straight into the pit lane. So obviously a mistake, perhaps. Mr. Cookie out on a lap as well, running 5% ERS. So it'd be interesting as to whether he goes to the line or not. I'm not too sure, you know, because obviously he stuffed up that lap, and yeah, he's coming in again. So he invalidated the lap and then went in for an in lap, and then cancelled that that fast lap. Even though he invalidated, he could have gone in that lap. I'm not too sure what he's doing, but this is Mr. Cookie we're on about, so it could be absolutely anything. This is true. We need to get some sponsors. Imagine that. BRL brought to you by. I'm really good with sponsors as well. I'm pretty good at slipping them in there and getting them like nailed, you know. Just speaking of, honestly, I'm a professional. That's him guy. If you get sponsors, I can handle them. Don't you worry. Right, who's racing? Lifebout's on a time, I'm pretty sure. He is. He's just about to come around the corner. Right, let's see whether he can improve the time. I don't know how his first two sectors have been, nor this final one, but he is going to go to the line. It's going to be improvements by Jesus. That's an improvement. It's a 17-1. Oh, good God. That's really set him out from the pack, hasn't he? 7.75 of a second faster than anyone else out on track at the moment. That's going to take some serious effort for anybody to get close. That is unbelievably fast. Oh dear, oh dear. I really hope I really hope that everybody starts upping their game, because that just doesn't sound like a very fun race, to be honest. Bluebird's about to come across the line. Was that an improvement time? That was an 18 dead by the looks of it, but he's just starting a lap, I think. Yeah, just starting a lap. Rick is about to come and finish off a lap. He's a 10th up, 3/10 up all of a sudden, so that brings him half a second to Lifebout as of right now, which, I mean, it's all right. It's still a comfortable P2 for now. However, Lifebout has really got him put in a blisteringly good lap there. Is very, very impressive indeed. Nevertheless, Rick is going to come across the line. He's going to go P2, and he's going to go 4/10 down. So it is a bit of an improvement on his Sector 3. He's got himself a 10th up in that. And what's happened here? Oh, is we gone black? Have we crashed? I think we've crashed. Yeah, we've crashed. Come on, we've crashed. It's ridiculous, the fact that... Oh, God, honestly. Right, you can have that for now. Just whilst I fix this. Oh, this is ridiculous, honestly. The fact that this is F122, right? You'd like to think by this point, and I feel like I'm the only person who it just crashes on a regular basis. I mean, I'd much prefer it if it didn't just crash half the time. I'm just loading in now, so I will not be long. Hopefully, that's the plan anyway. Join session. Right, who knows what's happened? For all we know, there's 3 cars in the wall. Jimmy Jags has gone pole. Everything's gone perfectly. Right, we're back in. Right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and not an awful lot's changed. I can't actually tell from that. Our Henson's put a lap in, and he's improved. He's now half a second from life bouts. Bluebird, I don't think has improved. He might be on a lap here, though. Yes, no, maybe. Oh, he's pushing it out of the final corner, so that definitely indicates he's pushing a little bit, but he is invalidated, so there's no point of him going to the line. Let's see who else is riding on board right now. Here's Jimmy Jags. Absolute unit, cruising down into the first couple of corners. Mr. Cookie has finally gone and set a time 23 seconds slower than everybody else. J Horse was loading the laptop up 3 minutes ago. It's still not here. It's poor, honestly. It's fine. Let's see how he does. Mr. Cookie is probably one of the only drivers as of right now. Well, he's one of the only drivers to have not set a time. Himself, Kadiri. So the two Aston Martins having a pretty rough start to this qualifying. We've got 3 minutes to go. So they really need to start considering getting those times in. And oh, there goes round Cookie. He's crumbling as he just fails to climb up the hill. Oh, there he is. Just coming off to the side. That's not exactly where the camera's poised to pick you up. Notably, he doesn't have a lot of ERS left, which kind of makes you worry. The fact that he's up on his time as well. He's 8 seconds up. I'm beginning to worry for Cookie here as to whether he's going to make it. Obviously, all the sort of the front-running drivers, the top 5, 1 second splitting the top 5. Which is not exactly the closest qualifying with... Oh, there's Essex Perry round. That's not exactly ideal. You know, your car going hollow so you can see your body. Never the plan. But he's getting himself back on track nicely now. Jackalacco in the pit lane. Just about to leave to start a lap. And I think Kadiri is just about to start a lap as well. Yes, he is. Let's see what the other Aston Martin can do as he gets away. Lifebout are Henson and I'm a Wild Matt all on outlaps now, along with Simon Barsfan and Jackalacco, as I mentioned earlier. So those guys are getting out. Oh, he goes round. Oh, that's unfortunate. He might, though. He's got just about enough time to get himself round, I think. I think he can just about get round to do another lap. If he stops all of his ERS... exaggerate some track limits here and there, I think he can just about get around. Notably, pretty much everybody now, yeah, that's it. Everybody in the top 5 is out. So let's see who is first to come round. Smithy is about to come around the final corner. Let's see how he does as he runs through 14 and out to the very short straight before 15. Over the hill we go. Lovely little close-up of the Mercedes there. And across the line, it's going to be an 18.5. That's going to put him up into P8s. And we're also going to have another driver just come across the line there. I'm pretty sure that's our Henson. Yes, yes, it is. So our Henson is our first man of the top 5 to get out onto the outlap. So we'll continue watching him because we haven't actually done a full lap yet. Oh, I hear noise. Is that a J-Horse?
Yeah, it's me. Sorry, ignore me. I'm breaking my entire setup.
Right, okay. I'll pop you on mute just for a second. I've got... Right, we've only got... I imagine... Right, okay, that's it. Timer is done. So, anybody out on track, anybody trying to set times, have to set them now. Mr. Cookie setting a record time around this track of a 1:40.5, with our fastest time at the moment being a 1:17.1. He's really looking on for pole position here. Our Henson coming around the final corner now. He's P3 at the moment. He's going to have to get half a second just to match Lifebout. Is it going to be? It's not. It's going to be improvements, but it's not enough to gain a position. Rick is still going to keep P2 for now. Here is Bluebird coming over the hill. How is Lifebout? Lifebout is the next man across the line of the top 5. He's coming around the final corner. Gets a pretty straight exit, and with DRS wide open across the line, it is improvements. It's a 16.893. That's an unbelievably fast time. Chakalako goes P4. Really strong time from him with his first lap of the day. He goes P4, 7/10 behind Lifebout. Rick coming around the last couple of corners, as well as Bluebird, who just rounds the final corner. He's going to be able to put DRS wide open, and it's going to be a 17.6, and that's put a P4. It's a little bit of improvement. Can Rick take the pole? No, he cannot. It's a 17.3. It's an improvement of just over a 1/10.5. And yet, he's still 4/10 off of our pole sitter today. Lifebout has put in one of the most impressive stints I have ever seen in qualifying. Wow. What a qualifying that was. Absolutely chaotic. Oh dear, Cookie. What have you done? Well, he's going to get a 5-second grid penalty. That's going to take him P13 to P14. It's not a massive pushback for him, but it's not the end of the world. Either way, we're just waiting for Essex Perry to come in. There he goes. And just because of that, we've finished the race nicely. I'd like to join Mr. J-Horse with track. Hello.
Am I on stream now? Can people hear me?
You are on stream.
Hello, everyone. Nice to join you, finally. Good to be here. You're going to have to run me through what's happened. I can see that Lifebout's put a 16.8, which is incredible. So no surprise there. But looking like a good field. Only we've got AIs in the field as well, which might not be great. But yeah, good to be here. Sorry for turning up late. And hopefully we have an exciting race. Potter.
What's happened?
Huh?
Why do we have AIs?
I don't know. I do not know. Hopefully that's just a glitch. And it says we've. What does it say for you right now?
I don't know. Oh, no, I'm just getting the normal people.
Are you? I'm currently in a 3-lap race.
You're currently in the 3-lap race.
It says it. Yeah.
I'm driving a Ferrari.
You're driving.
I'm driving a Ferrari.
Right,
well, hey. It's so nice to see this game is still incredibly broken. It's intermediates as well, actually. This is a good thing because I can actually check the weather for once. So it's going to be raining and then it's going to get sunny again. So
I'm going to join and I'm going to rejoin.
Okay. We've got actually a half decent little race for us here. Right, I need to try and get round a lap on intermediate tyres and a controller.
Easy. Chuck on full control, full traction. You'll be fine.
No, right. You're going to have to commentate the start.
I can't even see what's going on.
You can't even see what. Right. Okay. I'm going to have to try and commentate whilst also driving.
You're going to have to do mini-map commentary.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Oh, it's a formation lap, isn't it? I forgot about that existing. Can I come in at the end of the formation lap?
Okay, get your special graphics out and everything.
Yeah. Right. Formation lap. Transition. Oh, hey. Right, off I go. Oh, sorry, Cookie. Right, okay. You saw the grid order before, so I'm not going to try and go through that again because I'm really having to concentrate. Can I come into the pit at the end of the lap 1 and retire? At the end of the formation lap?
Oh, no, you can't. Won't let you.
Oh, that's annoying.
I don't know, actually. I've never tried. You can give it a go, but I can cover for you because I'm in the lobby now and I can see what's going on.
Okay.
We've got 15 drivers now, which is good. Oh no, one of them's you. Okay,
Yeah, one of them's me.
Maybe 14. So yeah, intermediates. Lifeboat looking like he is setting a pretty, Jesus, a very quick pace. Getting some heat into those tyres. Looks like I've got Rick, so good for the championship. We've got the two main protagonists. You've been disqualified from the session, which is very impressive. Yeah, so we've got Lifeboat and Rick P1 and P2, which again, good for the championship. And yeah, Lifeboat taking a very speedy route around the track at the moment. And other than that, there's not much else to go on because everyone's on intermediates. But maybe if someone in the Discord chat could let us know whether it's going to be intermediates the whole race or
no, I got to see it.
You got to see it.
I got to see it. So it's going to rain, and then it's going to be cloudy, and then it's going to be cloudy and sunny.
Sweet. That sounds like a recipe for a good race. So exciting times. But you're not going to get to see it because you're going to be concentrating on keeping the car in a straight line.
Yeah. Oh god, yep, here comes everybody. We got Jackalacco, Hazard, Simon Barsafan, Tommy, Smithy. Oh yeah, Sim guy, can you hear the cars now? I've adjusted something, so hopefully you should be able to just hear the car on tick over right now.
Do you want to do the? Do you want to take it away? Or do you want me to do it?
Oh, bro, do it. It's going to be horrendous.
Fuck, I hate this bit. All right. Right, we are going. It is 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are underway for BRL round 10. It looks like Rick has got a pretty even start, has a little wiggle, but the top 2 have cleared away, although it looks like maybe Jackalacco might try it. No, it doesn't. So the top 3 maintaining position elsewhere. We've got R. Henson and Simon Barsafan fighting. Looks like we've got Kadiri and Tommy having a little battle. Kadiri sends one down the inside of 2 cars. A little bit of bumper cars, but gets the move done, it looks like. And yeah, no contacts so far, which is good to see. And everyone's away cleanly. Looks like Lifeboat has a pretty hefty gap already of 1 point. Looks like 3 seconds coming out of turn 5. So good for him to start with. And we have a look at the positions gained or something like that. Jackalacco up 2 positions into P3, into a podium position. Simon Barsafan has had an amazing start and is up into P5 from P8. It looks like Kadiri has had a bit of a moment and is dropping down behind his teammate, Mr. Cookie, who's had a fantastic start.
I've just seen debris go everywhere. I'm not sure whether that's just a board or whether that's someone's front wing.
Let me have a look. I'll see if anyone's having a bit of a moment. It looks like Kadiri might have had a bit of wing damage because he's going quite slowly right now and he's got his Aston Martin teammate of Mr. Cookie behind him. Both of them up 4 positions, so I don't know. I don't think they're fighting for any constructors.
Aston Martin, I think, are like P3 or something.
Well, we don't care about them. Yeah, Lifeboat soaring away currently. So he has got very good pace on these intermediate tyres. Jackalacco still quite close behind Rick as Characteristics picks up a 5-second penalty, which is not great from him, but maybe he gets to jump in the commentary box. And we've got, Simon Barsafan making a move on I'm a Wild Matt, goes down the inside, but backs off just a little bit, thinks better of it. And everything is starting to settle down a little bit after what seemed like a slightly hectic opening start. And can you see?
I can see. Do you know what? I'm so proud of myself. I kept up with the pack.
Yeah, man, you should be driving. You can let me do this, and you can drive if you want. So I will let you get back involved in your normal job as Lifeboat is streaking ahead at the moment.
I was about to say, my good God, 2 laps in, and he's already 3.2 in front of the pack. Well, I think we're going to see some lapping here today. And it's only a 50% race because Lifeboat is still running away with this. It's half a second since I started talking. Nevertheless, just behind, well, I said just behind him, about a mile behind him, we've actually got some cars, which are all semi-close together. What's looking at us right at the back here, that's SX Perry launching one down the inside of Jimmy Jags as they continue to go side by side through turn 14. And Lifeboat goes even faster, 128.2 is the fastest time as of right now. Jimmy is going to come round the outside for a very audacious move there. And that's going to send SX Perry running a little bit of oversteer. And that puts Jimmy Jags into P13 as of right now. Really good battling at the moment. Something I noticed at the back, it was quite hectic pretty much the entire time. But overall, pretty clean racing. There was a little bit of bumper cars here and there, but you kind of expect that through Sector 1, Turn 1. Overall, I thought really good start from Kadiri. Unfortunately, he hasn't got quite as good a start. Oh, there goes Mr. Cookie off track. Getting a bit of oversteer, just going up the hill and onto the back straight. Luckily, he's managed to keep it together and hasn't lost a position, actually. So he remains P10. In front of them, though, Bluebird is going to go round the outside here of the AlphaTauri and then gets the inside line. But the door could open for the AlphaTauri. However, Bluebird is just enough in front, so he manages to hold on position nicely. So that's a lovely little move from Bluebird there. That gets him up into P7 as of right now for the Alpine team. They'll be very happy with that. Our Henson and Jackalacco just in front. Jackalacco with a really, really strong time in qualifying. He kind of burst out the door. I remember him saying, 1 lap is all I need for sixth, not for fifth, sorry, not bad. And not bad at all, especially considering he's up 2 places into third already. But I think down at the back of the grid is where it's all going on. I think a lot of drivers are making mistakes, and that's keeping the pack close together. It's just a shame that they can't keep together just by racing hard. And you can just see, I was on board with Kadiri there. Mr. Cookie running wide just in front. Kadiri not getting the grip laid down, and that's allowed Tommy to get a little bit closer. So possibly biting. And oh, what's happened there? Kadiri's just gone into the wall. His brakes obviously just stopped working or something, because that was a pretty horrendous little crash. I think he's just...
That is a safety car.
That is it's a virtual safety car. It's back. It actually tells us what it is, rather than just saying...
It doesn't tell me. You're getting luxuries here. I'm getting yellow flag sector 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, have you still got that? Oh.
Yeah. Not blessed enough by EA. I haven't paid enough money yet, but yeah, that'll be a huge relief for Lifebat, who has built up a massive gap in just over 4 laps time.
Oh no!
Yeah. What's happened?
His pedals failed on him.
Who? Kadiri.
Kadiri. He was just driving and his brake pedal just stopped working. Oh, that is such a shame. I was wondering because like he went into that hard. It was like he didn't even try to brake, but that's probably why, because he didn't get the opportunity to brake.
Yeah, I was on board with Mr. Cookie, and I saw Kadiri disappear all of a sudden. I thought maybe he'd lagged out or something, but yeah, I'm glad you caught that one because I had no idea what's going on. But it looks like Smithy has picked up a drive-through for speeding under safety car, and maybe Jimmy Jacks has as well, and Essex Perry. I'm not sure. They says they've got penalties, but yeah, all of them have got drive-throughs. So 11th, 12th, and 13th. If you thought being at the back of the grid couldn't make your day any worse, they have now got drive-throughs, so they're going to be even further behind as they all come in to serve it at the same time. So maybe a nice little battle for them to watch, for us to watch, as Essex Perry picks up a 5-second penalty. So he's having a struggle. But yeah, Lifeboat streaking ahead. Jackalak on our Henson and on my World Matt, I must say, have really good pace at the moment. Rick has, I mean, relatively what we'd expect compared to him and Lifeboat and maybe the guys behind, has not got the greatest pace at the moment. Maybe has set up that car maybe for the dry. We don't know. Obviously, if it's a changeable conditions race, we'll have to see what the lads do in terms of the wings they're running, because you can kind of get away with quite low wings around here in the dry, but obviously in the wet that will hurt you more than others. And some pretty big gaps beginning to form at the moment. So it looks like a top 5 battle, and then 6th to, we'll say 10th, and 11th to 13th. So
yeah. I've got to say, this is going to be a fight for P2, isn't it? I think
it does look that way. Yeah,
it is looking that way. It's lap 5. Lifeboat is currently sitting at a 4.7 interval as Rick gets a little bit leery out of the final braking zone, and that's the thing, especially around this track. If you've set up for a dry setup, understeer is going to be a problem, obviously, but oversteer, as I've very well experienced through the first lap, was terrifying. It's as simple as you don't go below 3rd gear as like a general rule, because you're done for. So if any drivers accidentally click 1 too many down and go into 2nd, then I really feel for their rear tyres, because they're about to get very hot. Nevertheless, these guys at the front, they're running really, really similar paces to each other. Rick ever so slightly in front of the rest, and they're very, very tight as well. Minimal margins between each one. Especially through different sectors of the track, we noticed that the drivers split out and crunched together a little bit more. I did see, whilst you were talking, Blumo had made a lovely little move on Simon Barstfan and is now beginning to get away from him. 1.2 seconds is the delta there. As Mr. Cookie is also creeping up onto the back of Hazard now, just 4 tenths behind him. So these guys are a little bit more spread out than the ones at the front. However, with these wet conditions, it is proving to be quite difficult to get a move unless the driver in front makes a mistake, and then obviously you can capitalise on it. Other than that, I can see it being challenging, to say the least, to get a move done. Bar that, I mean, we're just in for Mr. Cookie, 3-second time penalty. Tut, tut, tut.
Yeah. Tut, 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 indeed. Yeah, I think in the wet, the last corner just does not... is not conducive to good racing, because that is a pretty hard corner to take with the off camber, the change in elevation, the wet conditions. You know, it's hard, especially when you're behind another car and you've got a little bit of there is a little bit of dirty air on this game, maybe a tiny bit, but it does exist. And yeah, just looking like no one can get a good enough run onto the main straight, which is not looking long enough at the moment. So it might be a bit of a slog for you and me, and waiting till the dry. But it looks like maybe by that point Lifeboat might be about a mile ahead. So maybe the battle for the lead is gone, but we'll have to see whether this quite exciting battle, maybe not exciting, but close, battle for P2 carries on, as Rick is starting just to pull away a little bit from Jackalako, who is in turn starting to pull away from our Henson. So a little bit of spreading out of second to fifth, which is a little bit more boring for us. But Hazard looking like he's on the back of Simon Barstfan, so I will stick on board and let you know if anything exciting happens.
Well, we'll stay with the front pack as of right now, as that is a Red Bull extremely wide off the final corner, which is going to allow our Henson to get a little bit closer than usual. But still absolutely nowhere near close enough to get a move done. Red Bull getting away with something massively there, because obviously once you get off track as well, the ground isn't anywhere near as grippy. If you try and change directions too quickly, you try opening up BRS, it can go horribly wrong. Luckily, the Red Bulls managed to get away with that. Well, luckily for him, unfortunately for the Williams behind. Nevertheless, he might have picked up a penalty for that. Depends on how quickly he was going through it. It's really hit or miss when you go really, really wide. Little cuts here and there are almost always, yeah, you're caught out. That's well, it's not a penalty, but it's one of your three. Big wide ones, it's quite difficult to tell whether you've gained time or lost time from going off of it. So he could have been picked up one. I'm not sure. You'd have to check race director. But it's still something to keep an eye out on, especially when you're going onto a final straight, because obviously a wider corner means a faster corner means a faster straight, and that is exactly what you want going onto the final straight.
It does indeed. From personal experience, I think you can run quite wide out of the last corner onto the curb and the runoff area on the left and get away with it. The game seems to be quite lenient with that. So hopefully for his sake, he has not picked up a penalty or a warning, as you say. He is still keeping up with Rick at the moment, just hovering within that imaginary DRS at the moment. And it looks like Mr. Cookie has made a good move on Hazard. I've watched it, and it was into the uphill right-hander. So it was a pretty nice move, and he's looking to do the same to Simon Barstfan probably in a couple of minutes. But obviously with that 3-second penalty, he is going to have to really get a move on if he wants any chance of even a podium at this rate, because the top 5 are streaking away from the rest of the pack, and Lifeboat is streaking away from everyone at the moment. So it looks like he's pulled back a little bit on his pace and it's just cruising, which he is more than entitled to do. As we wait for it to dry up, but there doesn't look like it's any sign of that at the moment. So we are going to have to carry on picking at the bones of this race at the moment to try and find something exciting.
Really looking in depth at everything they're doing and analysing.
This is it's the Skypad when they really get into it.
Yeah.
All the boring stuff. But we're not as clever, so we're gonna have to struggle here. As it looks like
Cookie is getting pretty close to the back of Hazard coming through the last couple of corners.
And Simon Barstafan has had a little bit of a moment as Mr. Cookie runs wide, but this might give an opportunity if he gets on the DR or the ERS early. Not looking like he has a great amount of straight line speed advantage and is probably just going to back off for this corner, and he does. Simon Barstafan runs a little bit wide. Is that going to invite Mr. Cookie to send one down the inside?
Oh, he had a look.
He thinks better of it. He did have a look. He was shaping up for it, but he thought better of it. Maybe setting him up for turn 4, I'm going to guess. And he's caught that very well. So
he's done that a couple of times. He did that in quali as well.
He's really going for it, is Mr. Cookie, a man who has, by his own admission, given up on the season.
Yeah. Which is a shame because he was doing so well.
It is a shame.
And we haven't
he was leading the championship.
I think it's still Rickon. Oh, Mr. Cookie really loses it there, but he still holds on and he's still within the second. So, I mean, it's still not done and out for him, but, you know, is his tyres going off or something? Taking a little look at championship as of right now. The drivers are talking about that Rick. So it's not like, and I don't think it's that far between them either. If it wants to actually finally click on driver's. So after Imola last time round, Rick's on 176, and our Henson's 160, and then Mr. Cookie's down on 148. You'd have to do a lot.
You would, as Lifeboat has picked up a 3-second penalty, and that could be crucial because if there is any kind of a safety car in almost the second half of this race, he might have screwed himself over there. Currently he's fine. He's got a de facto 4-second gap at the moment, obviously 7 seconds ahead with 3-second penalty, but that could be crucial. In fact, I will do you a favour and I will have a look at the warnings to see if any of the top guys apart from Lifeboat are close to a penalty. It looks like Rick is fine, but Jackalacco is 1 away from a penalty and our Henson is 2 away from a penalty. So yeah, Lifeboat going a little bit early with 3 seconds there, which could make it a little bit more exciting for us if there's a safety car and if Rick can close up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I really do hope so. The rain seems to be not quite as strong. I was noticing...
I think it stopped.
Not quite. We're still getting some spits.
It stopped for me.
But has it actually? That's very interesting. On track. Oh, it might be. There's still a couple of little raindrops when you go onto T-Cam, but the rain streaking on the cars has completely gone away. Yeah. So I think if the rain completely dies off within sort of the next sort of 2-3 laps ish, we might be dry by 16. I think. I reckon we could be dry by 16 if the rain clears up nice and quickly. Lifeboat notably going fastest sector 1. So I think he's gotten that 3-second penalty and thought, oh dear, that's not good, and is hitting the pace once again. He's increased it to 7.7 as of right now. And, I mean, fair play to him as our Henson goes and sets fastest Sector 1 as well. Now, for me, the fact that our Henson's gone and set fastest Sector 1 tells me that the track's drying and they're getting more grip.
Yeah, definitely. You can just visibly see the grip that they've got at the moment compared to the start of the race, obviously with less water on the track. As Rick is bringing it back a little bit. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see as the track dries up who has maybe gone for a more dry setup per se, and who's maybe gambled on pulling away in the wet. But yeah, this could be interesting. Obviously there's the added factor of who comes in when's the track going to be at optimal, the optimal crossover, as Jackalacco runs wide in the second corner again, or second to last corner, sorry, and Lifeboat sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:27, and everyone's running wide on that last corner. So they've taken my advice of not getting a penalty or a warning, and are abusing it. But yeah, this could spice up a little bit compared to what it is now. We will have to wait and see, as it looks like it is getting drier by the lap.
Yeah, definitely into some of the corners, some of the faster corners especially. I can definitely see all the tyre marks. They are beginning to show what we like to call the dry line. The dry line refers to the section of a wet track which has been removed by all the drivers and their tyres. They've removed all the water. So that section and that section only is dry, as I think Mr. Cookie is going to go for a switchback move here on the Williams. Just coming out of the hairpin. They're going to go side by side through the left-hander, and it is still the Williams that remains in position. But, he could have a little move. No, he's thought against it. Logical move, but I think Mr. Cookie is getting more and more aggressive by the second. Nevertheless, he's backing out a little bit. So, anyway, the dry line. Dry line, water's moved off of the cars. There's no rain, so no more water goes there. So that section and that section only is dry, and the rest of the track is wet. The dry line is also the racing line. So whilst it is fast to drive around the fastest section, because it's obviously dry as well, that's going to give you a big bonus, a big aid. One problem with that is overtaking, because you've got to, if they stick on the racing line, you've then got to go off the racing line, i.e. onto the wet sections of the track where there's no grip, to try and make a move where you need more grip than them. So it kind of turns into a big problem, and it can hinder overtaking for a couple of laps. Until then it all dries up, and then you can go off the line and it's absolutely fine. Well, Mr. Cookie is still struggling to get past here, as he's sticking behind this Williams. He might probably go for the same move again, coming out the final corner, coming out onto the back straight. Yeah, as he does put the ERS down, I think he's going to stick behind, go wide, switch back, and get the power on. He's going for the exact same move. But he doesn't get any grip out the line, and oh my god, I've crashed again. Are you taking the mick?
Has your game crashed?
My game has just crashed.
Lovely. Okay, right. Well, I will pick up your slack for the now. Elsewhere, we have Jackalaka right on the back of Rick at the moment, looking like he's getting much better traction out the corners. Was about a 10th coming out of the fourth corner. That uphill left-hander coming up on the second straight, as Lifeart sets a 26.0, so that is a pretty rapid time at the moment, and he's continuing to pull away from everyone else. Yeah, everyone's a little bit spread out at the moment. So we've still got Mr. Cookie on the back of Simon Bartafan. I will see if he can make a move into the first corner, looking like he has a little bit better of a chance, as Jackalaka picks up a 3-second penalty, which is going to seriously hinder him in his fight with Rick for P2. And Mr. Cookie cannot get the move done into turn 1, so is going to maybe set it up for turn 3. No, thinks better of it. Takes a wider line, switches back onto the outside, switches back into the inside again, nearly spins, but doesn't have a good run. So he's going to have to wait another lap. And apart from that, that's not much going on, as Mr. Cookie tries a little switch back, but just can't quite get on the power well enough. And I imagine you viewers this is like BBC Radio 1 at the moment, so you are not here watching a thing. And I'm having to do some serious audio description. 5 Live, indeed. I enjoyed your tech time with a dry line. Were you reading that off the official F1 website or something? That was really good.
No, I just know that. Go on, don't take me as a rookie. I do know some things.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you for some reason. As Lifebot sets another fastest lap, so he's pumping him in at the moment. Looks like he is
quicker and quicker, isn't it?
He is. He's really picking up the pace at the moment.
I mean, 2 laps ago, that was a 28. It's a 25 now. That's
25.7, I believe it was. If you needed any evidence of how quick this track is drying up, then Lifeboat is the man to watch. Elsewhere, we have Mr. Cookie still behind Simon Bartafan. He's pretty sick of the back of that Williams. But just cannot make a move at the moment. Maybe might send one down the inside at some point, but for now is being quite sensible. Looking like he's got a pretty good run into turn 4. Is he going to make a move around the outside? Simon Bartafan doesn't particularly leave much space on the outside after making a defensive move to the inside, which is not particularly allowed, but that no harm has come of that yet. Are you back in the lobby yet? Or
I
am I allowed to
am.
carry on?
I am watching.
You
I'm
are.
watching Mr. Cookie,
You're
and
watching.
he's
Okay.
just done. He keeps doing that, Mr. Cookie.
Who?
That is the same move that he makes every single time, and I think the Williams is beginning to predict it a little bit.
You reckon? Yeah, he seems a little bit predictable.
Mr. Cookie, he swoops to he breaks a little bit later, swoops to the outside, cuts in for a nice little switchback. It worked the first time. Well, it very nearly worked the first time. The Williams just got a slightly better exit than him. The second time he got loose, so it didn't work on the exit. And then the third time, it's just really not pulled off at all. I think he might need to try a different move next time because it's getting progressively worse. Lifeboat's into the pit lane as well, maybe.
He is. Very brave.
He's going dry.
Yeah, considering he is the leader. So he is probably the last one that's going to get the...
Well, hey, he's skating out.
That is a very brave decision. And one I'm not sure he needed to make. I think he had the gap to wait another lap.
Yeah, and he's struggling. He might have thrown this away, you know. This is really slow.
He's thrown this away by trying to
This
be a
is
bit
really
too clever,
slow.
Yeah.
Oh dear, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to just keep watching Rick and see what he does. I think he'll stay out for another lap, you know.
Absolutely. If the game hasn't told him to come in, then he is not going to do that. And Lifeboat is really, really struggling, looking like he's picking up a little more grip. But that was, yeah, that was a potentially a race-defining moment from Lifeboat, and not in a good way, because he, yeah, as I said, he didn't need to make that decision. He could have waited, he could have stayed out another lap and still had a good gap and fresher tyres. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And he's potentially, considering the top 5 are pretty close together, he has potentially, it's like we've had a Aston Martin spin, so Mr. Cookie is no longer going to be fighting with Simon Barstafan. But yeah, we'll have to see what as Jackalaka comes into the pits. So yeah, this is the crucial moment of the race, should we say. It's been a bit boring up to now, but looking like it could get a bit more exciting as Mr. Cookie has a spin.
Well, it's most of the front runners that are staying out on the intermediates at the moment. I think they want to go one more lap than everybody else. But Jackalako and I'm a Wild Matt, they're the other two that have decided to come in early. Well, Lifeboat has gotten those two both quite comfortably, but it's not anywhere near as wide as it was before. Jackalako is now just 5 seconds behind Lifeboat. In comparison, I think he was more like sort of 12, 13 before Lifeboat came in. So it's been a big reduction in Lifeboat's time. It's a 16-second interval, so that is a 21-second gap to the leader, Rick. Can Rick get that pit stop done in time? Is he going to come out just in front? Is he going to come out just in behind? Are they going to come out into the corner at the same time? It's a very tight margin as of right now. Do you know the pit stop time for Portimao?
Not a clue. I don't think it's that much, because obviously the pit lane feeds off the racing line and then back into it. So I don't think it's that much, as Rick is coming into the pits now. So this could be very good for Rick. He might jump all of them, or he might be behind Jackalako and I'm a Wild Matt. We'll have to wait and see who's made the right decision. Looks like we've got a Haas on the racing line out the pit exit, so I don't know what's happened there, but I will stay on board with Rick, and we will see where and when he comes out, as he has. Yeah, looks like Lifeboat is coming down, so he might well jump Lifeboat here.
Close. Lifeboat does go fastest, so 25.7, and Lifeboat does get himself in front. But it is nowhere near the lead that it was before. It was a 10-second lead before we got the move to dry tyres. It's now a 3.6-second lead. 3.9 now, 4.1. And I think we can already see the fact that Lifeboat, whilst obviously he's lost a bit of time here, he's got completely fresh tyres and he's clearly using them. Additionally, they're warm. These guys have just come out the pit lane. Those tyre blankets are now set to 70 degrees Celsius. Which means they are quite a fair bit colder than what they need to be for optimal use. So they've got to spend the first sort of lap and a half a lot of the time getting those tyres up to optimal temperature, which means they're going to be losing time over that section of track, which is considerably, you know, it was 3.8 seconds, it's now 6.2. Lifeboat really hasn't suffered that much of a loss when you come to think of it, which is very helpful for him. He'll be absolutely loving that. Quite disappointing for us because no fight for wins.
Not that we're biased. We just
No,
want good racing.
We just want racing.
We just want racing. What I will say is, Rick will have a what was that? A 3-lap tyre advantage. So that potentially could be crucial. Obviously, he only needs to get within 3 seconds of Lifeboat to win. However, on this game, if there has been a period of rain, then the track does not wear your tyres out very much at all. So that could be a rubbish point, and I maybe shouldn't have said it, but we will see. And for our sake, hopefully Rick can close up and make it a bit more interesting. But for Lifeboat's sake, he will be hoping to use what seems to be like superior pace and just control the gap for now. And the only gap that looks worth looking at the moment is Onward Matt behind Bluebird.
Yeah, well, it's a very, very quiet time out on track as of right this second. We've definitely seen closer racing in BRL's history. Very, very open indeed, actually. These two drivers, the only two closest. So we'll just ride with these guys. As penalties are really beginning to be picked up now, aren't they? All of a sudden, we've got quite a lot of drivers on quite a lot of penalties. Jimmy Jags all the way on 9 seconds worth of penalties. It's not looking good for him whatsoever. And now Essex Perry also on 9 seconds. A few drivers there clearly really struggling with penalties, and even more Lifeboat. Obviously, he's got his 3 seconds, so is Jack Alacco. I'm a Wild Matt. Rick, though, does go and set fastest lap time, 1:22.0. So maybe it isn't all over as we previously thought.
Yeah, closing in a little bit. I think 3/10 on that lap. So, yeah, he does have a little bit of work to do. Obviously, 3 seconds to gain as Lifeboat sets a fastest Sector 1. So maybe he's picking up the pace a bit as well. Yeah, 3 seconds to gain with 3-lap younger tyres. So this is by no means over yet. It looks like we've got an Alpine in the middle of the track somehow. It looks like Jimmy Jags has managed to go inside one of the barriers or something. So that's a new record, impressive for him, as he's punted it into the wall. But looks like he has survived. So maybe not having the greatest race at the moment, Jimmy. But yeah, this is elsewhere around the field, not particularly exciting, as Jimmy Jags now picks up a 10-second penalty. So Jimmy Jags providing the entertainment at the moment.
Yes, he is indeed. There you go, Jack Alacco with another penalty on top of that. I'm a Wild Matt getting a little bit closer every single lap. It's now 0.4 of a second. It was 0.2 for a very brief moment there. And is DRS open yet? I didn't see the notification, but I might not have just been paying attention. Yes, it is. That means that the Mercedes is going to come barreling past to the inside. They do make a little bit of contact down the main straight, but it is the Mercedes into 5th place. I'm a Wild Matt gets that position done, but Bluebird isn't going to give up that easily. He's going to stick behind very nicely. And is he going to be able to make a move there? No, he's not. He's going to have to wait until a slightly later period. Gets it down. He's got DRS, but he is, I think, a bit too far back to really make any use of it other than to catch up. So Bluebird is going to comfortably stay in 6th place for now, and we've got a driver stopped on track. Is that a Mr. Cookie? Yes, it is.
It is a Mr. Cookie. I've been watching him for the last lap, and he has spun 5 times.
Oh, great. So, what's going on?
He's having a fantastic race. Maybe we'll have him join us up in the commentary box in a bit. I know he loves to jump in when he's not having a great race.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see whether he carries on. He's currently in 11th, and he spun again.
And he's spun again. Oh, dear. And Jimmy Jags retires from the session. That's going to bring out all 3. It's a safety car. Safety car is out.
Full safety car. Now,
ladies and gentlemen, we have a safety car. Let's see what on earth has happened. He's crashed out there, of all places. Interesting place to crash. I haven't seen that one before, I'm going to be totally honest with you.
Where did he crash?
Oh god, it's quite difficult to explain. Got a hop on board with, I think it's Tommy.
Is it Tommy? And he crashed on the left,
the left, yeah.
That's very impressive. I don't know how he's done that, but Jimmy Jags is a freak of nature, so he can do anything. This has absolutely screwed life out over, we must be said,
It has.
because he is currently tucked up behind the safety car and is losing the lead that he had, and obviously with that 3-second penalty, he is going to have to think very carefully about what he does here. Does he come in for new tyres? Does he really have the gap to go for new tyres, considering the rest of the pack is going to be bunching up ever closer? At this current rate, he'd probably drop to P3, should we say? Maybe even P4 if the safety car doesn't get a move on. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. He does have the pace, I will say, to streak away 3 seconds, although Rick was looking like he was matching him. So Lord has answered our prayers, and we have an exciting race for us to shout over.
We love to hear it. Well, our only problem is when the safety car gets kind of close. Oh, Jimmy Jags, I'm so annoyed. Right, Jimmy Jags, if you'd like to explain how that occurred in chat, that'd be greatly appreciated, because we are a little bit confused as to what happened. But yeah, my only worry is the mathematics we're now going to have to do to try and figure out who's actually in front of who. Because when it gets all close and tight together, obviously penalties, that's the word I'm looking for, become more and more prevalent, and they get more and more confusing because people have different amounts of penalties in different places, and you can get lost quite quickly. Simon Barsfan goes and loses to... Oh, he's in the pits. It'd be helpful if the game told me that. Nevertheless, he comes out on what looks like a fresh set of mediums, I think it is. Yes, yeah, everyone on mediums.
Yeah, no one coming into the pits apart from Simon Barsfan, I believe, unless someone at the back. Looks like a Red Bull in, so Tommy
Cookie has wing damage.
Cookie has wing damage, that does not surprise me. He is, and he spun again!
Oh dear, oh dear.
Well done,
Cookie. Is it rear wing damage?
It may well be.
I think it's got to be at this point with the spinning.
Did he say he had damage?
Henson did. Yeah, Cookie has rear wing damage. He's got it 3 times.
That's very impressive from Mr. Cookie. But you know, fair play to him. He's powering on, and he is doing... I won't say he's doing his team proud. He's doing something as he looks like he's coming into the pits to change of tyres, maybe. He picks up a 5-second penalty. Maybe he's going to retire. I have to wait and see.
Knows? Well, I'll watch on board and see what happens as all the other cars are just coming up to join. We've only got one driver now, really, Smithy, who's waiting. And nope, by the looks of it, Mr. Cookie is going back out on a fresh set of tyres. I don't think he's... Yeah, I can't say he's particularly worried about losing that time, because he was already back there, so it doesn't make an awfully big difference to him. Jimmy Jags is calling Mr. Cookie a fidget spinner, which I think is probably the most accurate description of what's happening to him right now that I've ever heard.
Also wildly ironic.
Oh, he's round again.
There we go. Well done, Cookie.
He's really struggling, isn't he?
He is. Away from Mr. Cookie, it looks like... Oh, that's Essex Perry. No, never mind. Yeah, up at the front, we have Lifeboat and Rick and our Matt and our Henson and Jackalacco all on the same tyres that they started this safety car on. So this is going to be a straight fight, I would imagine, to the end. And we will have to see whether Lifeboat can pull that 3-second gap to Rick, who looks like he had just as good pace, if not better. So Lifeboat with that 3-second penalty, and I must say another warning to go with it. So he got 1 life left, basically, before his race is pretty much completely over in terms of the win.
Essex Perry goes to softs.
Essex Perry going to softs, as he is a minute behind. So
to be honest, though, soft tyres isn't a bad shout. It's not that many laps to the end, is it? It's 9 laps, really. And you can get away with 9 laps on softs. I mean, you're going to struggle, but you get away with it.
Yeah, and obviously the tyre deg will be much less than on a normal dry track. I imagine it's still not quite rubbered in yet, so that might work for him, although whether he catches up to the pack, I think he's lapped, I believe. He looks like he's lapped, so maybe he's not going to make up any positions, but he could have a little bit of fun trying to come through the field as a ghost. as we wait to see whether the safety car comes in this lap. And if by magic it does. So there we go. This is this could be
J-Horse
pretty.
can predict the future.
Look at me go. Yeah, could be pretty pivotal for the championship. This if Lifebout can pull out a 3-second gap and pull even more points back on Rick, then he is going to be well in the hunt for this championship. Obviously, would be maybe 2 or 3. As I will let you take us away for the safety car restart.
Alrighty, well, the safety car peeling off now, getting a nice bit of distance, and it's completely up to Lifebout for one of the less complicated safety car restarts. Safety car in the pit lane, and he goes almost immediately, and it's a okay start for him. The McLaren keeps up pretty nicely, but the cars behind aren't going to do quite so well. McLaren weaving a little bit down the straight, interestingly enough. He's almost breaking his own slipstream, which doesn't make an awful lot of sense. But Lifebout comfortably continues in the lead for the first few corners. Gets through nicely. Smithy losing a couple of places there and gains another. Gets himself back up to P9. So obviously pretty tight battles there towards the back of the grid. Looking towards the front though, and it's pretty quiet. Slightly further back, you saw the Williams having a little go. And that's caused a bit of a collision there with the AlphaTauri. And there goes round an Alpine as well. The Williams getting a decent-ish run. Simon Barstfan, and he breaks away from Hazard there eventually, as SX Perry is trying to cut through the field as a ghost, exactly as you originally thought. Well, Rick is already a second behind Lifebout, so he's managed to break the second barrier and is now out of DRS range within the first 2 sectors. I'm a Wild Matt leading pretty far behind and far more under pressure by our Henson just behind. He's 0.3 of a second, and Jackalako 0.4 back from him. These guys will have DRS in 2 laps time. Obviously after the safety car restart, it's the same as starting the race in that you have to stop. You have to serve 3 laps out on track before DRS is enabled, though I think interestingly it's they're trialling 1 lap some of the sprint races this season.
Sorry, as Lifebout picks up another 3-second penalty. That is 6 seconds for him. So he is
Cookie out.
Probably out of the win. Now, it looks like it is Rick's to lose, as Mr. Cookie has lost the car and is retired from the session. So, yeah, a really good race from Mr. Cookie. He's done fantastically well. I imagine he'll be glad this is over. But yeah, speaking of over, that is probably the win for Lifebout over. He has just not been able to keep it within the track limits, so barring any crazy spins for Rick, that may well be it, and potentially it for a P2, because our Henson is not that far behind Rick and Lifebout at the moment. So
no, but I mean, I'm a Wild Matt. What penalty? Oh, I'm a Wild Matt's also on 6 seconds. Well, our Henson is 3 seconds back from Lifebout as of right now, 3.2. So not only is he comfortably going to take that position off of Lifebout, he's going to do it by 3 seconds. In fact, technically, if Simon Barstfan goes in front as well, as Rick actually goes and sets a faster time than Lifebout after that safety car restart, which is not something Lifebout would have been wanting whatsoever. That shows that Rick has got the pace to keep up in this dry weather. So Rick, I think, has gone for a dry setup. I think Lifebout's gone a little bit more towards a wet setup by the looks of it, because we know that he's got the pace, but I think he was really showing off that pace in the wet because that's what his car was set up to do. This safety car has really screwed him over and his penalties, and it's now just a 1.3 second gap. He's got to find 4.6 right now to try and get himself back into the win, into the lead of the race, and yes, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? I mean, Simon Barstfan takes him at the moment.
Not going to happen, is it? Which is a shame for him and for his championship hopes, but Rick will be loving it right now as he has managed to keep it in between the white lines, and that is a skill as crucial as pace itself. So yeah, that is going to win him this race at the moment. Elsewhere, yeah, looks like everyone is kind of cruising a little bit because the order is almost a little bit set with the penalties. No one is particularly fighting crazily. Maybe Hazard and Smithy in 7th and 8th, but other than that, not a whole lot going on. And it hasn't been the most exciting race for us, has it?
Yeah, well, I can give you a little bit of news.
Go on then.
Well, I've just been into the BRL chat, and there was a certain man called Mr. Cookie that sent a message saying the comms box was calling his name. So we may have an addition for the last couple of laps and interviews.
Very exciting.
But no idea yet. I mean, he is online, so he might have seen the message. Who knows? Either way, you can. If another voice, there you go. If another voice comes in, don't be alarmed.
I won't. I know who it is.
We all know
It's
who it
the
is.
fidget spinner himself. Lifeboat is pulling away a little bit, but maybe a little bit too late for the moment. Maybe good enough to get P2. He is. Oh god, I'm gonna have to use my maths GCSE here. He is 5.2 seconds ahead of our Henson and pulling away ever further each lap. So maybe the P2 is well on the cards for him here. But the win is gone, which is a shame for him. Simon Barstafan looking good for a P4 at the moment. Obviously with Armour World Mats and Jackalaka penalties. And everyone at the back looks like Armour World Mats has had a spin. So that promotes everyone up even further. Oh, that's a shame for him. He was running really well up in P4.
Yeah. I just have
and
one tiny little question for you.
Go on.
So you know how you were adding up the interval times to try and see how far you got 5.2?
Yeah, I don't know where that's come from.
Why didn't... no, it was close. It was 5.4. Why didn't you just check gap to leader? Did you want to show off your math skills?
That's a very good question, Carter-teristics. Do you know what? I just wanted to show off.
Just wanted to show
Just wanted to show how good at adding up I am. If I can't show off how good at racing I am, I've got to show off something else.
Yeah, fair enough.
So maybe I'll uncover a hidden talent each week from now on, as I'm a wild Matt runs very wild. Very wide. He is a wild Matt.
Next week's post-race show is just J-Horse, juggling fire.
Juggling fire. Maybe I'll do a talent show. Maybe I'll do some like singing. We'll do an opera. I'll sing Senorita if you want me to.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, maybe. If we get... Because we should do a proper YouTube thing and set a like target on the video.
Well, we've had 17 views so far, so...
17 views. If we can get 50 likes on the video, I'll sing Senorita at the finale.
You heard it here, folks. 50 likes on Portimal's round 10. Actually, no, we'll clip it. We'll clip that. And we'll get 50 likes on that. Because
That's
the last
not
clip...
what I said.
Did you see
That's
the last
not what
clip?
I said.
The last clip got
130
views in a day.
I know, we're balling. We're balling. And all the money went into my pocket as well, so unlucky.
I mean, we haven't got that kind of views since Tier 2 Great Britain.
Yeah, I know. People love a short or whatever it is, a clip.
Yeah, Jackalaka on the back of our Henson here, very dangerously actually. Well, I say dangerously, I mean he's dangerous for our Henson, as I mean he was very, very close, and now he will be in DRS range, as DRS is enabled, thankfully. Let's see what he can do as it gets very, very quiet on the aerial shot as we head through the final corner. It is a 4/10 gap. DRS opens on that white line there. He's closing, closing. Gonna switch to the inside? No, he stays behind. That's such a shame. He was... Oh, Hazard though. Oh no, he's behind as well. Such a shame. Problem is that with this straight, it's one of those straights that is like, if you gave it an extra 50 meters, you'd see a pass so much more common. As I think the AlphaTauri is going to stick to the outside.
One down the inside. Sorry of our Henson. Our Henson gets out of the way nicely, but that is a very nice move from Jackalaka. I don't know if you caught that there, but yeah, very nicely done from him. Maybe in vain at the moment because he doesn't look like he's going to get anything else other than P5. But yeah, I completely interrupted you there, and I apologise. You may carry on.
That is absolutely fine. I was just watching Hazard and Simon Barstafan as they basically did the exact same manoeuvre, but just not to such success for Hazard. He got on the outside and... Oh, that's Rick! Rick spun!
Rick has spun!
Oh, no!
Jesus, and now he is 7.5 behind. So that, bloody hell,
Oh,
everyone's trying. No one wants to win this race. Rick has
Lifeboat.
thrown away the win there, and only one lap to go. That is a huge moment in this championship, and he will be kicking himself right now. And it looks like R. Henson may have a go at him. Thinks better of it, but wow, yeah, did not see that one coming. I thought he was just going to cruise to the end.
I was. That is unbelievable. Rick. Oh, Rick.
Rick, indeed.
At least he
Oh,
didn't roll.
dearie me.
But
What did you say? I didn't hear
said
it.
at least he didn't roll.
I don't get it. Oh, I do get it. Yeah, that's really good, mate. Quality comedy on the BRL stream here.
Cheers. They don't call me Alan Carr for nothing.
It's a strange comedian to choose as well. Yeah, no, that's huge. That is huge. And Lifeboat is going to be laughing right now because it's saved his bacon, as they say. It looks like Hazard and Smithy having a little battle.
Yeah, it's
Hazard
a great
picks
little
up a
battle.
3-second penalty. And I will let you talk our winner
Oh,
across
God,
the line.
yes. He comes round. It's lap 33 of 33. He puts an unbelievable pole time in. And it's an unbelievable win, somehow. God knows how he's managed it. Lifeboat comes across the line as a Red Bull skates off in the background. I think that's Jackalacco there. And he wins. Unbelievable race from him. I mean, is it fastest lap as well? I think it is as well.
No, I believe Rick got the fastest lap.
Only just, though. Only a 10th in it, but that is an unbelievably good race from Lifeboat. I mean, he's incredibly lucky. I mean, it's pure luck that he's won it, but nevertheless, he's put in some really, really good laps, and he's dominated for the majority of the time. So you can't put it past him and say that it wasn't a good race, because it was very, very good. And yeah, congratulations to him. There's our Henson. Driver of the day from the game goes to Smithy, so I think he must have picked up most overtakes. And congratulations to this man, the AlphaTauri. We're getting pretty used to him being on the front row as he gets a lovely little reef here in Portugal. He's looking very, very happy indeed with the McLaren in P2. So he still picks up P2 at the end of the day, Rick, with the Williams of our Henson in P3. And I mean, it's a very, very good quality podium position with some good battles, even in the rain. Congratulations to all three. Hopefully we'll be hearing from all three, because I do know all three do have a chat. But are only 4 seconds off my quality lap before I go. Well, should we do a little rundown? Lifeboat comfortably wins in the AlphaTauri after picking up 6... Oh, I say comfortably. Not really. 6 seconds time penalties, but he was still 2 seconds faster than everybody else. Rick in the McLaren P2 with our Henson, P3 in the Williams. Simon Barstman P4 for Williams, so it's a very good weekend for Williams. Also, good weekend for Red Bull, who haven't had the best of weekends so far. They're only on 90 points at the moment. They go for P5 and 6 with Jackalacco and Tommy. Mercedes also going double with Smithy and I'm a Wild Matt, P7, P8. AlphaTauri of Hazard, P9. Bluebird, P10. Alpine and SX Perry, P11 for the Haas. And then our DNFs, P12 for Mr. Cookie. P13, Mr. Jimmy Jangs. P14, Kadiri. And P15, myself, who... I think driver of the day has to go to me. I set a 1:44 as my lap time. Mr. Cookie only went 4 seconds faster in his quali lap, and I did it in the rain, and it was the first lap of the race, and I went into the pits.
So who's the real winner here? So, I think you've probably come away looking better than everyone else here. Everyone else was trying to trade wins, and you've stuck in a fantastic lap. So fair play to you.
Thank you. Right, well, we see what are people saying at the moment. Rick is not a happy man. So that might be interesting to see what he says. That he says it's the most interesting spin ever. Lifeboat calling the safety car unlucky. Rick nicely disagreeing. And then praise. Oh, bit of Fernando Alonso. Let me get a drink and I'll join the call on my place. No, not on PlayStation. You know this by now. It's on Discord.
Come on, Henson.
Come on,
Come on, man.
Henson. You should know this by
These
now.
could be some exciting interviews. So stick around for probably a bit of laughing and a bit of whining, and some exciting championship chat, because that has spiced things up to no end. So happy days for us, and happy days for Lifebat as well.
Yeah, join us back in a couple of minutes for interviews. Alrighty, so hello everybody and welcome back to post-race interviews. So you are joining me with our Henson first. Our Henson, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm happy with P3, but I could have definitely got P2.
So, talk us through the race.
The wet was awful. I was nearly sliding about everywhere. I was running wide like every lap at the last turn. Then when it went to dry, I was much faster than pretty much everyone except from the top two, which is normally the case at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite a quiet race, wasn't it? Especially for you guys up at the front. You basically just ran in tandem the entire time. It was yeah, I gotta say you could have gone for a couple more moves. Obviously right at the very end, it was looking to be a very different outcome to the race. Were you expecting to see, was it Rick going round? Obviously he did still finish in front, but only just in comparison.
When I saw him round, I was shocked. I don't know if that's the word, but I couldn't quite believe that it's spun. It was a big bottle, to be fair to him. Don't know why he's so upset about it, though.
I know, he's not happy, is he?
He's still leading the championship, I think.
I know, I think he does still lead after this. I shall have
2 points, I think.
Yeah, it's not by a whole lot. Race results after Imola were... Load. It's incredibly slow, Discord.
I think he's 1 point behind now.
Is he a point behind?
Point behind, yeah.
So does that put Lifebout into the championship lead?
No, he's 1 point behind.
Oh, 1 point behind. Right, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. It's all right.
Well, other than that, was there really anything else that happened to you guys? Your strategy when it went from wet to dry. What were your thoughts? You were one of the later ones to go in, weren't you?
Yeah, I knew I shouldn't have done it too early because I've done that quite a few times and it just never works. It's better to leave it late than do it too early. So I don't know what Lifebound was thinking doing it 2 laps before everyone else.
Yeah. I mean,
then I boxed under the safety car. I also don't get why some people didn't do that. I mean, I lost 1 position to Matt, who then span in front of me right after anyway. So yeah.
J Horse, anything?
No. 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 Well, actually, yeah. You are obviously pretty clear in P3 at the moment in the championship, a little way back from the top 2. Are you happy with P3? Are you happy just to stay there, or do you think maybe you can push up and fight the 2 ahead?
Yeah, I said in did you look at the pre-race comments on the stream?
No.
Yeah, I said in there that I was happy with P3 because the top 2 are just stupidly fast at the moment. But then Mr. Cookie, he should be ahead of me, but he keeps spinning and getting rear wing damage.
Yeah, that was
his own fault.
Yeah. Well, yeah, P3 is really good, so fair play.
Yeah, I've been in and around there every season so far.
I know you consistently are top 3, aren't you? You're consistently 3rd, aren't you? For most of the
I came 3rd season 1.
I
came 3rd in season 1, 4th in season 2, and now I'm 3rd again.
Well, consistency is key. With that, would you like to do your 3-word race roundup?
Nothing really happened to me though. I was in between everyone, so I'll just say Mr. Cookie bottom.
We love making fun of Mr. Cookie. Thank you very much for joining us, nevertheless, and congratulations on the podium. And we shall be seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well, let's talk to P2 because we actually have the whole podium here today, and it's a pretty disappointing result for you, isn't it, Rick?
I don't want to be here. Let me leave.
Well, you've got to talk to us first. They're the rules. Talk us through what happened.
Simple as I was a gear too low. I was in third, but I should have been in fourth.
Hmm.
That made me spin. So.
Well, you were. It wasn't the best of starts to the race, was it? Lifeboat got away pretty comfortably, but after the safety car, you did keep count for quite a while. Um, I mean, for most of the race, were you actually feeling all that confident, or was it a bit, I'll happily take second?
Well, I think Lifeboat had a wet setup on, which meant it was way faster in the wet than in the dry.
Hmm.
So, and yeah, I think that just made the difference. Setups, dry and wet setups. Because I was on the dry setup for the entire race, and I think he was on the wet.
That would make sense. As the pull away for the first couple of laps. I mean, he was up to far away. It was far. It was pretty much a second a lap faster for the first few laps. I mean, other than that, the strategy call brought you down quite a fair bit of time when you got onto the dries. Were you happy with that call?
Yeah, I think it worked out for me because the main thing for me was just leading a lap, so Lifeboat didn't get a grand slam.
Hmm.
And so he does, and then he doesn't get 3 extra points, which would have been even worse. But yeah, um, it worked out like I said, and it's when I saw he went on to the mediums 2 laps early, then I was like, surely not.
Hmm.
Surely he's not done it twice in a row.
Well, other than that, would you like to do your 3-word? Oh, actually, J Horse, do you have anything?
No, I think you've covered everything.
3-word race roundup.
Can I swear?
What word is it going to be? The first, the second, or the third?
First,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
fuck,
Beep.
fuck this game.
Right. Thank you very much. I mean, congratulations on the podium. Nevertheless, it's decent points, and we'll be seeing you next week.
Yeah, all right, see ya.
Alrighty. Well, with that, shall we talk to our race winner, Lifebout? How are you feeling?
Good. That's after the safety car, I didn't expect to win, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of an up and down race for you, wasn't it? I mean, qualifying was nothing short of comfortably on pole position, just under half a second. And then during the wet, you were looking very, very confident indeed. And then it didn't quite go to plan during the majority of the dry race, did it?
Yeah, I boxed onto mediums way too early. I think that was maybe a lap too early. I think a lap after would have been the perfect lap, but yeah. What do I say? In the West, I don't know how I was so fast, to be honest. I wasn't running a wet setup, as we said, but I think I had maybe higher downforce, so that might have helped.
And
But then, yeah.
oh yeah, carry on. And then
wait, you say you can talk.
just obviously just at the end of the race, would you consider yourself lucky to be the race winner with the result that obviously ended up?
I mean, the safety car was quite unlucky because I was like 6 seconds ahead before the safety car, but I guess I was kind of lucky to have won that after Rick spun. But I think I should have won that anyway after I pulled like 10 seconds in the wets. So yeah.
J-Horse?
Yeah, obviously there's 4 or 5 races to go now, and you are only 1 point behind, I believe. Are they good tracks for you? Are you feeling confident going into the last stretch of the season?
Let me look at the calendar. So Baku, oh, I mean anything can happen. So I don't know. I think Canada's quite good for me. I think I've got good races there in the past. Not in the server, but in general. Abu Dhabi, I think just I'm not too quick or too fast Kota, I think I'm really good at. So looking forward to that one. Brazil, I think I'm kind of slow there. So I think having a championship league before Brazil will be ideal for me.
Oh, other than that, would you like to do your 3-word race roundup?
I was like in the lead for the whole race, so I don't know what to say. Okay. Rick is washed.
Oh, well, on that, congratulations on the win, and we'll be seeing you next week for Azerbaijan.
See you next week, mate.
Alrighty, well, Mr. J Horse, overall, what did you think of the race?
It was 99% boring, but a very exciting ending. So yeah, not too bad. Not the most exciting, not the least exciting, but sets up the rest of the season pretty nicely for us, I'd say. It looks like we'll have a pretty close battle to commentate on.
And there's just one other thing
Oh God, yeah.
that we've had to put off for a week because unfortunately I wasn't able to join us last time around. I can't. Oh yeah, I remember why. My voice gave up on me.
There you go.
So there was a little thing called my birthday that occurred. To much of the guys' surprise when they realised how old I was, it was my 16th birthday, and I'm here now, which I'm now legally allowed to do a little bit. So annoying, right? They cut off on like halfway through my birthday. I was no longer allowed to marry someone. I was for the first half, and then I couldn't the second, which was quite a shame.
Right. Well, there you go. Thank you for letting us know. Any plans to get married?
No, not really.
No?
I'm
Oh,
desperately
well.
lonely.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I commentate on F1. Why are we not supposed?
Okay. Okay. Well, you've just let the entire stream know. So there we go. Everyone, send Carter a DM and tell him you love him because he's lonely.
And with that, thank you all very much for watching. I have been the Carteristics.